Hello family, welcome back to the Ebony Odyssey. My name is Jermaine Long and I am a servant of the Most High God. I really appreciate you for coming along, and as always, enjoy the journey. Today I'm just going to talk a little bit, so I don't have a title for this, but I just want to talk about some things that I was thinking about when I was a kid, when I was a child. So in school, all throughout junior high school, I was always thinking about retiring. I was always thinking about getting to a point, the fastest way to get to 40 years old and retire. And I was thinking about all the things that I could possibly do up until that point and then retire. And so the things included, going to the military, becoming a professional athlete, and those two were it. But after working a job, a regular 9-to-5 job at Kmart, I could understand like a person's frustration with working. I loved the job. It was easy. I didn't have to use my brain. I actually worked it before joining the military, and during that time I signed up and did a little side job, and I'm going to try to capture all of that experience right here, because doing that work I thought about when you are working hard at a 9-to-5. If you're busting your butt 40 hours a week and you don't really get the money to stretch out and make the ends meet properly, you come to a point where you can never pull your head up to see the things going on around you, and that causes a lot of trouble, because if you never see what goes on around you, you fall victim to being misused and abused, pretty much. And that's how sometimes it happens when you're if you're not a government employee or at these big companies where you can actually make decent money, to see and understand the changes in your environment. So again, that was my whole thought during high school, to get to 40 and then retire. And so in the military, I was working, and we made decent money for being in the military. Getting BAH and those types of things, they help, they offset that cost of living a little bit, and you were able to stretch your money. But I knew you still couldn't be rich doing this. And so, during my military career, I had some great people that was around me: Michael Hayes, William Barksdale, Gerald Kane, Paul Dildy, a whole bunch of good people that were around me, Lynn Means, Sean Alexis, so I know I'm going to forget some people, but at the end of the day, we had a lot of good people around us. One of my good friends, Rody and Bates. Anyway, so as I digress and I give everybody a shout out, but you had these good people around you, and you worked hard, and during that time, I was just sitting there and I was doing the calculations in my head, because I love math and I love numbers and I love how that stuff kind of goes together. And I was figuring out, oh no way. I mean, if I could make it to 40 years in the military, yeah, I can retire. That'll be perfect, right? And then I got injured. So everything changes when you get injured, right? So no longer do I have to make it to 40 years in the military. I had to bow out at 13 years. So at 13 years, I'm looking at, now I have to go back into the workforce if I'm not a government employee. So am I going to give 13 years away and then just go back to putting my head down and working to make ends meet? No. I was thankful and blessed to, get hired at a company like ECS by a gentleman named Mr. Oliver Cooter, and that was a big part of the next step in my progression. It was a blessing to get out of the military and then have someone open the door for you and look out for you, just allow you to get your feet in there. And I worked hard in those positions that I was placed in. And then I was still looking around like, man, I know this won't be enough for me to get to where I want to go and to do what I want to do. So back to school I went, because school was an afterthought coming in. I thought I would be able to work my way to the top, and you can't do that. So school, that afforded me an opportunity to get a associate's, a bachelor's, and even a master's degree. And so through all this, I was able to obtain another job that paid quite a decent bit more. But all throughout that time, I just started to do other things as far as invest in properties, invest in multiple things to, try to earn additional revenue. And I figured out, of some of the failed opportunities that I had, real estate was, the one that seemed the most lucrative. And I was able to invest in it during the bubble, at the bubble, after the bubble. And, me and my wife, we made it happen for the most part. And, I got all of these years and I was doing that wonderful job and everything else. And, I know at 40 years old, right at 40, 2020 was 40 years old for me. 2020, we had the pandemic and everything else that went with it. And during that time, I saw that I had to make that change for me myself. My whole plan was to work 20 years and then spend the next 20 years figuring everything else out that life has to offer. So it didn't involve me, working till I was 60 and working till I was 70 and 80. And no, I didn't involve that. So, my plan was to get to 40. I got to 40 and I stuck to it. I was blessed by God in many ways that I look at now to have this opportunity. And so I seized the moment and I took it. So with the opportunities I had, I tried to capitalize on each one that God allowed me to have. And so now I'm here. And if you are working day to day, it's hard to look up and see any bright lights, anything that could make you say, oh man, this is worth doing, And some people have their heads so far down and lose all hope of what this life is supposed to truly be about. And I'm sorry if the wind is distorting the sound. But family, I'm telling you, to give everything up at this point and to get here has truly been something for me. And it's been probably a struggle for my wife and probably a struggle for my kids. They are on this journey as well. But for me, it's different. For them, they are tagging along, and I'm hoping they're getting to enjoy what the world has to offer them, the time that we have received. I know I read the Bible a lot, and I just know it says God will restore the time that the locust is eaten up, and I feel restored being here. I have my worries, I have my doubts, and God continues to make those ways for us. He continues to open these doors for us here. So it's really nothing I can say on that end. But I just want to tell everybody today, don't stop going on the journey that God has set before you because you have doubts and fears, because, you never know what doors open up. And as doors continually seem to shut in America, it continually seems to get tighter. You just gotta, think, life is more than, working yourself to death. And, maybe I'm at a different position now, that I can speak on this. And I'm, sorry if it comes off, I don't know, any way that may offend you. But life is a lot more than working every day and only having a little. Be diligent with everything you do. And as always, I appreciate you coming along, and as always, enjoy the journey.